Hello, it's Dolly. Welcome to my channel, Scrapping on the Go. This process video is for May I Scraplift You, hosted by Crystal of Pineapple Papers. We are on day 21. So for day 21, Crystal asked us to go over to Philemon Scraps over at Instagram and select a layout that we would like to scrap lift. So I selected this layout right here, and I wanted to play with my mixed media products, so that's why I selected it. And so now I'm going to show you the items that I selected from my stash to start creating this layout. So in her layout, she has torn paper along here. She has thread. If you look really close, she has different textures of products, be it paper products or your mixed media products. She's got stamping on there. She's got inks on there. So that's where I went. So for texture products, I have this burlap doily, and it still needs some of the little pieces taken out of it right there. So for a texture product, I selected this. It's even torn a little bit. That's fine. I might even tear it some more. It's basically for texture and a little bit of the symmetrical design of it. All right. Then I have, I don't know what kind of paper you would call this, but it's just a bunch of little holes. It's great to use to tear. So I've done that. I have, I'm sorry you can hear my son's phone going off. Then I have this vellum paper embossed with gold leaves, like foiled over leaves, to tear for some texture and shiny element. I have tissue paper. She's got a bunch of torn paper, a book paper here. I'm gonna kind of mimic that using tissue paper as well. Here's some more of that. I don't know, it's a real heavy, but anyway, you can tear it. I had these in my stash already, pre-punched vellum circles that had a heart pattern on it. Might tuck that in. I also, in my scrappy stash, I had this film strip that's been pre-punched using my Creative Memories border punch system in a film strip. All right, I know it's hard to see these butterflies. Maybe you can here a little bit. So then I have some butterflies here, stamps to stamp out. I don't think I'm going to mess with die cutting any butterflies out. I do have a die cut butterfly, but I don't think I'm going to add that element. I might, because I might need some more lift and dimension in my layout, but those are the ones that I selected. And then in this layout, she's got this typewriter with like a strip coming out of it. I have this envelope stamp with flowers coming out of it. So I selected that. For my torn paper look, I have this one side I'm going to use and this side, just to give a punch of color. It goes great together, the two sides. And then I'm going to get to the mixed media part in just a second, but I want to show you the photograph that I'm documenting. This is of my niece and future nephew. The photograph that I'm documenting using this layout that I'm scrap lifting. All right, so now let's get to the mixed media. I did some prep work off camera, just like I will create my layout, finish my layout off camera, but I wanted to show you this. I used this Prima stencil, and I used the Vicki Boutin modeling paste, and I went lightly over all these words. I let it dry for about 15 minutes, and then I came back with the Vicki Boutin iridescent glaze, okay? And voila, I have this raised texture word phrase going on. Started. Then I took the latex clear gesso and I just put droplets on here after all this was dried, which took, like I said, another maybe 15 minutes. And you can feel that roughness. Can you hear that? Okay, so that's from the gesso work, and I just dropped it and I just used my hand and I just went here and I went in between here, all these words, and then I let this dry overnight. Seriously, this is how straight. If you don't rush your drying, it does not really warp. Now I'm going to pause my video and I'm going to get creating. Stamping on here is the first thing I'm going to do, and I picked out some colors. I'll go ahead and share that. Pine needles and honey, wild honey. And then for my stamping, I've got Stays On because I don't want my images to bleed out. All right, I'll be back. All right, I wanted to come back and just go over this mixed media portion before I cover it up with my photos in the torn paper edge, like in the sketch here. So I wanted you to see the full mixed media background. So as you know, I did the stenciling portion here using the Vicki Boutin modeling paste and the iridescent paste, all right? Then the next thing I did was stamp out my butterflies using the Stays On ink. Then I came back and did my watercoloring in the background. And what I did was I smushed some of the Distressed Oxide Wild Honey on some packaging, added a little bit of white, I'm sorry, my computer's going off. I used some white acrylic paint and just a tad of it. I mean, just a tad of each of those colors. And then I squirted it on that packaging tape, a lot of water. And then I used my number 12 round brush and I picked up the paint from the packaging and I just gave it this light brush stroke on my paper, okay? Then I took a paper towel and I dabbed it up and I came out with this beautiful chiffon yellow background. Then I came back with this stencil and my two Distressed Oxide colors, Honey Mustard and Pine Needles, Wild Honey and Pine Needles. And I just moved this stencil around and I used a finger dauber, oh here it is right here, and I just went in the stencil. And that's how I came up with these blotches. So I'm going to pause the video again and finish creating my background. And I'll be right back. Okay, I am back to reveal my final layout, scrap lifting the Phil Mom Scraps over at Instagram. And here is the completed layout. It turned out fabulous. Yay! I love it, love it, love it. So I'll just go over the parts that I haven't previously showed you and talked to you about. That 12 by 12 paper that I selected in the very beginning, I did tear it and I used the A and the B side. I used the film strip and distressed it a little bit and tucked it in. I used that kind of cardboard paper with the hole punch and I tucked it in there and inked it up with a little leftover ink from doing the mixed media, using the stencil of the mixed media there. I tucked in those two vellum circles that was in my stash with these gold foiled hearts. So I completed that little cluster. Then from my alpha set, I used these corrugated gold letters and put us. Then from my puffy stickers that I selected, and this one is from the Dear Lizzie, and I used these little itty bitty gold puffy hearts. The flowers here, these puffy flowers, and this one with the puffy flower and strawberry all came from that collection. Then from the One Canoe collection, I used this little succulent puffy sticker right there. Oh, and then this one right here, I went outside my kit and used a puffy sticker from Prima right here. And use that word favorite, and it ties in that craft color right there. So I've got my gold in 4 places or 5 places. Then I have my 2 crafts. I have this orangey red that goes with the yellow in here and the orange and gold mix I have. So I have that tied in along with the background. And this layout is complete. Just love, love, love how it turned out. Oh, and I did back the photograph using that tissue paper and then that gold foil vellum paper here, and I ripped it and just have a little bit peeking out. That was with the leaves on it. Almost forgot about that. All right, be sure to go check out the other ladies that are playing along with Crystal this month of May, called May I Scraplift You. I will have their links listed below in the description box. And come back tomorrow for day 22. All right, get out those sorry for the blooper. Get out those scrappy supplies and your photographs and document those memories in a fun, creative way. And if you'd like to play along, just check out the Instagram accounts for each day and go over there and select a layout from one of those ladies that has posted and scrap lift away. All right, again, like I said, we will see you tomorrow for day 22. Bye.